Welcome to Chronicles of Stoicism, where we explore the timeless wisdom of ancient philosophy to navigate modern challenges. Today, we'll delve into 8 Stoic techniques to help you endure tough times with resilience and grace. Experiencing a crisis stoically means remaining brave, wise, and just no matter what life throws at you. Zenon of Citium was around 30 years old when his ship was wrecked. He lost all his money and possessions, but he did not despair. Instead, he began studying with philosophers and eventually founded a new school of thought. Gaius Musonius Rufus was exiled for 3 years to a barren, desolate island due to disobedience to a tyrannical emperor. He survived, returned to Rome, and spoke of his exile as a valuable experience. Epictetus was a slave. One day, his master, in a fit of rage, beat him so severely that he broke his leg, leaving him crippled for life. Yet this did not lead Epictetus to hate life. He continued studying philosophy, gained his freedom, and became a respected figure among Roman elites. What unites these individuals? Above all, resilience. These philosophers were adherents of Stoicism, an ancient school of thought that helps preserve rationality and dignity even in the toughest of times. Here are some effective techniques. Technique 1. Treat a crisis as a test. The Roman philosopher Seneca felt pity for those who had never experienced misfortune. To him, adversity is a test. Without tests, we do not know who we are and what we are capable of. Are we brave enough? Will we save ourselves or help others? Can we endure hardships and remain worthy individuals without abandoning our principles? The idea of viewing a trial as a benefit is not merely a rhetorical device. Seneca, who was a tutor to Emperor Nero and a wealthy Roman citizen, did not face poverty, but this did not satisfy him. He devised the practice of poverty, spending a couple of days each month in the worst clothes with minimal food to face poverty head-on, and ask himself, is this what I used to fear? In Seneca's view, this exercise should toughen the soul, serving as a kind of vaccination against panic that many experience during a crisis. What to do? Seneca's answer: view challenges as opportunities to showcase your character. He considered the fear of losing wealth and comfort as the worst kind of slavery. To face the threat of losing comfort and overcoming that fear means to triumph over it. Stoics generally recommended perceiving all life's difficulties as divine tricks or tests of fate. One should endure them with dignity and find answers to important questions about oneself and the world. Of course, thinking this way about difficulties is not always easy. Modern Stoic William Irvine suggests a practice to help with this. Imagine yourself in the distant future, explaining current historical events to your grandchildren or students. You need to describe how you felt, what actions you took, and what measures you implemented during these turbulent times. Avoid boasting or embellishing. Instead, you will want to highlight your wise, kind, and thoughtful actions. This is the trick. Acting wisely, according to your principles, helps create a story worth telling. Technique 2. Accept what happens. Do not expect everything to happen as you want. Instead, wish for things to happen as they do, then you will be happy. Wrote Epictetus, who knew firsthand how futile it is to resent life. This acceptance does not mean you should not try to change anything. The idea is that we should not waste energy on regrets and self-torment over how things could have been prevented. One of the key principles of Stoicism is the ability to distinguish between external things, which are beyond our control, and those we can influence. For example, we can control our actions, but not the actions of others, the weather, or currency rates. Therefore, it's better to focus on ourselves. Here's how Epictetus viewed his lameness. If it's incurable, treatment is outside his control. But physical illness is a hindrance to the body, not to freedom of will. Only the individual decides how to regard and live with their condition. For instance, Epictetus continued to study philosophy and follow the moral principles he deemed correct. What to do? The philosopher advised keeping a daily journal, which is a spiritual exercise that makes one wiser and calmer. In your journal, address the difficult, troubling situation you're facing. Try to list things beyond your control. Likely there will be many such things, and you may feel even more anxious as you record them. But hold off on panic. After listing external, uncontrollable factors, try writing a list of everything you can do during the crisis. For example, you can calm yourself to avoid making hasty decisions. You can hug your loved ones and tell them how much you care, or help those who are in urgent need. Use your imagination, jot down even seemingly silly ideas. When you've completed the lists, you'll have 2 categories: things outside your control and things within your control. Don't waste time trying to affect the first list. Instead, work on realizing some of the items from the second list. Technique 3. Look at yourself from above. A favorite practice of the philosopher on the throne. Marcus Aurelius described as follows: it is best to view things from a high vantage point and see all at once crowds, armies, farms, weddings and divorces, births and deaths, noisy courtrooms and quiet, desolate places, all foreigners, festivals, funerals. Markets, everything mixed and united in a unity of opposites. This perspective reminds us of our insignificance in the grand scheme of humanity, history, and the planet. It immediately changes our perception of life, values, judgments, and emotions. If a person is so small, what do our troubles, ambitions, and hopes mean? This exercise distracts us from less important concerns and reminds us of truly significant matters. What to do? You might, for instance, imagine yourself as an astronaut in outer space, observing Earth. But seeing yourself as a tiny part of the vast world is only the first part of the exercise. Next, you need to feel your connection with others and empathy for them. Realize the reality is enormous, and each individual, including yourself, is just a grain of sand. So what really matters? Technique 4. Imagine the worst-case scenario. Before embarking on his plan, Seneca would imagine what could go wrong and how to prevent it. For example, when setting out on a sea voyage, there could be a storm, the captain might fall ill, or pirates might attack. Mental rehearsal of negative events prepares us for failures and disappointments, making us more resilient in the face of adversity. What is utterly unexpected has a more crushing effect. The surprise worsens the disaster, wrote Seneca. We should consider all possible contingencies, not just the ordinary course of events. This exercise, called premeditatio malorum by Stoics, is known today as negative visualization and is used in psychotherapy. It is believed to help not only in psychologically preparing for possible misfortunes, but also in overcoming fear, avoiding traps of negative thinking, and appreciating what you already have. What to do? To follow Seneca's advice, literally rehearse in your mind scenarios that seem unimaginable. The philosopher considered it important to account for all possible twists of fate. An alternative is to start each morning with a reminder life is a tough test. This test we all face, along with many others. Some of these people act irrationally and unkindly, but that's no reason to abandon kindness. This recommendation comes from Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. The negative affirmation he suggests teaches patience and compassion. It goes, today I will encounter people who are intrusive, ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, and quarrelsome. These traits stem from their ignorance of good and evil. But one should not be angry or hate those who are related to me. We are made for mutual cooperation, like feet and hands, eyelids and upper and lower jaws. Therefore, to act against each other is against nature, and to be annoyed and estrange oneself from such people is to act against them. Technique 5. Reflect on your mortality. Epictetus advised constantly remembering death, exile, and all things that seem dreadful. Seneca suggested reminding oneself before sleep, I might not wake up tomorrow, and in the morning I might not fall asleep again. At first glance, these advices might seem pointless. Doesn't thinking about death just deepen one's depression? But learning to think like a Stoic, the awareness of one's mortality becomes comforting and inspiring. From a Stoic perspective, the key is to be virtuous right now and every day of your life. The thought that you might die at any moment helps with this. It sets priorities and motivates you to act according to your principles. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, this thought should constantly guide what people think, say, and do. Additionally, the awareness of mortality frees you from fear. If you can face the fear of death, you can overcome all other fears. He who has learned to die has unlearned to be a slave, wrote Seneca. What to do? Reflect on your mortality seriously, without irony or sarcasm, but also without panic. What emotions does this thought evoke? What do you think will happen to you when you die? What will happen to your loved ones and the world around you? What do you want to do now? Keep the thought of death close to you, not only when reflecting on your own mortality, but also when contemplating what you should or should not do. Remembering it should motivate you to focus on what truly matters, avoiding trivialities and distractions. Technique 6. Seek inspiration from wise people. A wise person, having lived through countless trials, now in a calm and cheerful old age, can confirm how useful it is to rely on wisdom and not succumb to illusions, wrote Seneca. To avoid pitfalls and distractions, learn from the lives of wise individuals. Read their works. Study their behavior and responses to challenges. Seek wisdom where it is present, and try to apply it in your own life. What to do? Choose the role model you admire the most. If you are attracted to someone from a previous generation, read about their life, actions, and thoughts. Study their approach to dealing with adversity. Learn how they made decisions and resolved crises. Additionally, you can use the advice of modern thinkers and writers. Philosophy is not a thing of the past, it is still evolving. Listen to podcasts, watch lectures, and engage with contemporary thinkers to get different perspectives on Stoic practices and modern applications of Stoicism. Technique 7. Find meaning in suffering. Don't look at suffering as a burden, but as an opportunity to learn and strengthen yourself, says the Stoic Epictetus. The idea is to turn suffering into something constructive. According to Stoics, any suffering can be a source of growth and enlightenment. In the face of adversity, one should strive to learn from it and use it to enhance one's wisdom. What to do? Look for positive aspects in the suffering you endure. It might be difficult at first, but try to find meaning in your trials. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can it make me stronger? What new perspectives can it offer? Technique 8. Practice gratitude. Finally, gratitude helps keep a positive mindset even in difficult times. Remembering what you have and acknowledging the good things in your life can counterbalance adversity. But what to do? Regularly list things you are grateful for. For example, write down in a journal 3 things that went well each day and how they made you feel. This exercise will help shift focus from negative aspects of your life to the positive. Thank you for watching till the end. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Chronicles of Stoicism for more insights on how Stoic philosophy can help you navigate life's challenges. Let me know in the comments which Stoic principle resonated with you the most. Remember, stay calm, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.